So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to today's end of market forecast and review for the 15th of August 2024. As always, this is brought to you by Trading Pro. Trading Pro is a multi-award-winning financial service provider. This is one of the services engineered to properly equipping the client to take effective opportunities as the market presents itself. Because a trader who fails to plan, most traders don't plan to fail, they only fail to plan. And some, when they plan, some don't trade their plan. So our job is to make sure that not only do you have a plan, but you also trade that plan. So without taking so much of our time, let's get down to what we have tomorrow, which is the 15th. We have high impact news coming out. So the Euro session might be a little bit calm, not much activity because we have the French and Italian bank holiday. Say to be calm, but by 1:30 we have core retail sales and unemployment claims for the US dollar. So the afternoon session, and then we have GDP for the British pound on by 7 a.m. tomorrow. So it's going to be a well spaced out trading session tomorrow. So without taking so much of our time, let's get down to the pairs we have. We're going to start off with the EURGBP, US 100, dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, pound yen, Euro yen. So looking at, we're going to start off with the EURGBP. We're going to start off with the EURGBP. For now, this pair is looking bearish. It has a bullish outlook. But if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, this daily has closed. This daily looks to be closing bullish. The daily seems to be closing kind of bullish, but a closer look, if you look at this on the 4-hour time frame, this seems to be closing bullish. But if you observe closely, price is within a range. This up close candle. Let me remove everything so that I can see clearly. This last up close candle. And if you notice, there has been a rejection from the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this number of candles. So most likely, if you go to the 4-hour, let's take note of this gap here. That gap is between 85.21. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, that setup created a bearish breaker here. We had this high, price made this low, broke above it. Then the low between these two highs, they had a close below. So what we are looking at is a retracement back into this low to this high. That's how I'll grade mine. But when you're using the breaker system, it's this last down close candle before this up move. That's what you'll be looking at. So if I pull back all my annotations, and if you notice, there is a fair value gap there. Not only is there a fair value gap there, the range of 86.24 to this low here, to this low here, because it's this low here. This is the low I used. Price is at the equilibrium of that range. That's where we have price. See price spike there. And that is also the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. So most likely, we might see a move up and a continuation of the downside because this pair is still bearish on the 4-hour. It will only go bullish when we get a move back above 86.24. Until we have that, any rally on this pair will be an opportunity for a short. But we should keep in mind that we have pound news coming in 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the US 100. And like I said, for the US 100, this pair on the 4-hour, it's bearish because we're having a deep retracement into this broken range here. And if you notice, there's a fair value gap here, a bearish fair value gap. And the equilibrium of 18,583 to 19,577, price tapped into it today. So let's see how the daily candle closed. Let's see how the daily candle closed. Daily candle still closed bullish. So the possibility exists that this pair might still try to move a little bit deeper into this fair value gap. So let's see if we can find the consequent encroachment. So the consequent encroachment is at 19,152. So most likely we might see price try to come up to this level. If it gets rejected, then we might see a continuation to the downside. So for this pair, we'll be watching price moving up into that equilibrium of this high to this low. If we are to pick up our FIB2, if we were to pull up our FIB2 to decide the directional bias of this pair, just give us a few minutes. Let's see. So let's move on to the next pair. Just give us a few minutes. So if I pull this up, MT4 on the US 100, so we can still see it's a mix up. It's a mix up here on the 1 hour time frame. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour is still bullish. Well, price is within this area. So if we get a rejection, the possibility is that we might see lower prices on this pair going into tomorrow. So already we have a break above this high by this move. So price dropped, you can see, to the equilibrium and is trying to move higher. So if price cannot go back above here, if price spikes above here and doesn't close above it, as you can see, the 1 hour seems to be showing railway tracks. So that's a bearish evidence. So the possibility is that if price can't go back above here, we might see a move lower. So if we go back to our chart on the 1 hour, we see, yes, you can see the railway track is there. So we'll be watching to see if price fails to close above there. If price fails to close above there, wait for a break below here, retracement, and the move lower. That's what we'll be hoping to see on the US 100 tomorrow. So the next we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. The dollar index still bearish, but there's something we need to watch out for. If we go back to the daily, if you look at this pair, there was a sweep below this low by this move here. Now, if you go to the weekly has a long lower wick, and most often this is a bearish sign because this still closed back into the range of this previous candle. It didn't close outside of it. It closed back into the range of this previous candle. So what we are seeing on this might just be a refill of this long lower wick and a possible continuation to the upside. If we go back to the daily time frame, we can see that price rejected off this low here. So we have a long lower wick. So what that points to the fact is that we might be seeing a bullish run tomorrow, probably towards any of these fair value gaps tomorrow. So there's a possibility we might see bullish evidence on this if we don't close below 102.60. So the next pair is the Euro USD. The Euro USD is still bullish for now. The Euro USD is still bullish for now. Let's go to the daily. If we look at where price came, price has finally come into this fair value gap and see price is rejecting from there. Most likely with this long lower wick, long upper wick, what we might see tomorrow is a little bit of a bullish run and a rejection. This pair is still bullish, but the possibility exists that we might see weakness going into this pair tomorrow because of the formation we have on the dollar index. So what's going to bring it to your knowledge once we have a close below 1.1? That's you need to see a break below it, retracement, and then a move lower. So that's what we'll be waiting to see on the Euro USD. Still bullish, but the possibility exists that we might see a retracement tomorrow, which will cause a little bit of a bearish move on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames. The next we're going to look at is the GBPUSD. The GBPUSD still has kind of like a bullish outlook. Let's look at the EURUSD. Let's see our EURUSD. So you can see the EURUSD has wicks to the upside. So just like I said, this is a 4 hour time frame. We might see a retracement tomorrow on this pair. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. So the possibility is that we might see that retracement on this pair. So it is still bullish as long as price stays above 1.0913. So we might still see a retracement. So the best will be a rally. Failure to close above this, then we now take the short for a retracement trade, because this pair is still bullish for now. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is a GBPUSD. Looking at the GBPUSD, this pair seems to have like a bullish run. After sweeping all what looks like triple highs here, we can see an inside candle on this pair, and we have a fair value gap setting up. So looking at this pair on the lower time frame, what do we anticipate? The possibility exists because you can see we have a broken range here, and this is a deep retracement into it. We might see a bit of a corrective move tomorrow, maybe to sweep this high. If this high at 1.2873 is not taken out, then we'll be waiting for maybe a sweep of here and a move down in price. So that's what we'll be waiting for tomorrow on the British pound. So let's look at how the British pound is looking and see if we look at it from this high to this low, price rejected from the equilibrium. So that's on the 4 hour. The 4 hour is still bearish. So we are seeing a short-term swing. We have a swing high here on the 4 hour, which points to the fact that we might see a little bit of lower prices on this pair. So that's what we might see tomorrow. That is, as long as price does not close above 1.2873, we might see lower prices on this pair. The next pair we're going to look at is gold. So looking at gold, it seems like it's still slightly bullish, but it seems like the all-time high was defended today. That's what it seems like. The all-time high was defended today. So if we look at the daily, if you notice, price spiked above this high and dropped. So failure to close above this high points to the fact that we might see, because that was done during the news, that's the CPI news. So we have a bearish engulfing here that has swept liquidity to the upside. So for this pair, you'll be watching this fair value gap here tomorrow for a rejection and lower prices. That's what you'll be looking for on this pair. As you can see, the retracement up is already starting. So this year you'll be waiting for the move and a move back to the downside. So let's look at what gold has to offer. As you can see, it's in a retracement already. So you wait for the rally, rejection, and probably you might be looking at 24.22 if it gets very, very heavy on the downside. As you might be looking at this look, 24.23 for a sweep. Because buy side has been swept, the next is price is going to look for sell side. So the next we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. Looking at the pound yen, these pairs long term they are still on the downside, but we're looking at a sort of a retracement move now. So price seems to have been consolidating slightly below this significant level here. So if we go back to the 1 hour time frame, that level houses what looks like an order block. That's from this low at 189.01 to this high at 190.52. So if this pair cannot continue higher, then you wait for a break and close below 187.58 to continue the move to the downside. That's what you'll be waiting for on this pair, because this pair bearish, but it's in a retracement. So which means that the 4-hour and the 1 hour, they have bullish sentiments. So until we get the new low, this pair might most likely continue to the upside. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the Euro Yen. Looking at the Euro Yen, has the same view as the GBP Pound Yen. So most likely this pair might try to spike this fair value gap here. The possibility is that it might spike this fair value gap here. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see it's still moving higher, although it's within this order block. It might be going for this fair value gap here. So if we go back to our MT4's view and see that it's still in a, you can see the overall trend on this pair is down. So it's in a bullish retracement. So if we go to the 1-hour time frame, you can see still looks bullish, but as long as price stays below 162.58, you might see a retracement into the range before a continuation to the upside. But just be aware that below 160.58 will turn the buyers on the downside. So that settles it for today's review. Thank everybody for taking your time to attend. I wish everybody a blessed and wonderful night's sleep and a lovely trading day ahead. Good night, everybody, and thank you for attending.